The left and the media are making fun of President Trump this morning because of his reference to terrorism in Sweden. Trump has it right and the clueless left is well clueless yet again on terrorism. Sweden is arguably the first country to fall to the caliphate regardless of what you hear in the news. Islamic refugee violence is off the charts there, but you would never know it because the government covers it up and the media spins it with lies. Trump was referring to an actual report from Tucker Carlson. He interviewed Amy Horowitz on migrant violence in Sweden. It would seem to me that Trump's critics are interpreting him too literally. I believe he was referring to overall violence in Sweden in not just one evening. Chelsea Clinton was an absolute witch over it, quipping, "What happened in Sweden Friday night? Did they catch the Bowling Green massacre perpetrators? Look at that, she takes after the wildebeest after all." They'll mock Trump for basically telling the truth. Americans are savvy enough to know this. We realize the true nature of radical Islam. We're not fooled by the left over Sweden. From Heat Street. President Donald Trump was the subject of mockery on Sunday after delivering a speech in Florida in which he referred to an incident last night in Sweden, but he appears to have been referring to an actual, accurate news report, albeit one that wasn't technically live or breaking. As soon as the words flew from Trump's mouth, social media began buzzing with jokes about his fake news story about a migrant attack in the historic Scandinavian country. The hashtag last night in Sweden cropped up, warning the world that Sweden might be plotting a takeover, with its pickled herring and its cheap do-it-yourself furniture. Even Chelsea Clinton, whose mother famously made up a story about being shot at by snipers as she boarded a plane in Bosnia, got in on the action. Trump also managed to baffle Sweden itself, which responded by asking the Trump administration for any inside information they might have about a recent attack in their country. But Trump may not have been wrong, at least, in terms of subject matter. Friday night, Fox News host Tucker Carlson interviewed documentarian Amy Horowitz about his upcoming film about violence involving migrants in Sweden. Horowitz claims that the Swedish government is downplaying an uptick in violence that followed a wave of refugee migration into the country. Amy Horowitz's film depicts Sweden as a country solidly in denial concerning radical Islam and migrant violence. Rape is now endemic there and women fear going out alone in the day and don't dare to venture out alone at night. Horowitz claims that the increase correlates directly with Sweden's refugee acceptance program. The country has taken in more than 190,000 Muslim immigrants in this same time frame. And this will happen here as well if we don't put a halt to the refugee program here in the US, at least until adequate vetting measures are put in place. Sweden, Horowitz says, is hiding the truth about its situation, and the Swedish people want their country to adapt to the migrants, rather than requiring the migrants to adapt to Sweden. That's suicidal. People talk about France and Germany, but they really should study Sweden. Trump did not say they had a terrorist attack. Haran Corcoran, what is happening to Sweden is worse than a one-off Islamic terror incident. Mass Muslim migration is taking down the whole taxpayer-supported safety net, and ultimately Sweden, as we know it, will not exist. It is the end result of a Cloward and Piven type situation. It's what the left has planned for the US, and I believe President Trump knows this. Instead of making fun of him, people should heed his words on this. Right Wing News contributed to this report. It's News Exposed signing off.